All right, so today was FOMC day. I'm always pretty open about how much I hate FOMC days. A lot of times you just get sideways boring, which you kind of got a slow drift lower, and then you get this, right? I don't know how to generally trade the slow drift lower, even though I'm not trading the SPY. I still couldn't find anything I really liked, and I didn't want to be in anything for this, right? Ended up with a fairly decent close, but I literally went all day, no trades. I haven't done that, I don't think, in a very long time. Um, I don't know whether to be proud of that or embarrassed. I'm a little bit, probably more embarrassed than proud. But before I get into the watch list for tomorrow, first I'll give a hat tip to Miguel. He called MRVL uh, as a yellow line play, right? A pullback to the yellow line, the famous yellow line, um, which gave the entry around 70.56, and it went to 72.41 on about 40 cents risk. I can show you the yellow line real quick. And then I got one more thing to say, and then I'm going to talk about what we're watching for tomorrow. I'm glad FOMC is behind us, though. There's the yellow line entry right there. Worst case stop goes below the green line. It was about 40 cents. A great post by Miguel. And again, if you were in this and then you took the high of day break to sell before the chaos started, or even anywhere in here, you still had a decent trade. Again, I wouldn't have held anything into this. Pretty careful not to do that. And another hat tip to Rick M in chat, because we were putting together our, hey, what do we want to watch in after hours? And I put out a list, and Rick said, what about Fuel Cell? And I said, well, it's kind of extended. It definitely had good volume, but it's kind of up in no man's land, right? So I dismissed it. I don't want to say dismissed it. I'm open to any idea, but look what it did in after hours. It went all the way up to almost 9. So hat tip to Rick for identifying that, hey, maybe some shorts were in trouble. Could argue you had another catalyst on the 8 break in after hours because of the June 9th high. So anyway, that's why I say everybody chip in and tell me what you're watching. I wish I'd have traded that. All right, with that said, let me go into what we're watching for tomorrow. I'm just going to crank through it. Remember, let me put this up. This is a video of charts that have good potential of giving us some great trades during the next market session. I try to focus on in-play stocks. Some people love this list and find it really valuable every night, and other people, especially on social media, tell me my list sucks and I suck as a human. So, take this for what it's worth. NBIS had the gap up here, pulled back, and is starting to curl back up. GRRR is probably my favorite, even though, man, it was weird. They had like $1 billion contract or something, and it definitely had great volume. Sold off early, which I was surprised, but I never found an entry, and then it closed just slightly above its open. So topped out at 21.48. Maybe we get some kind of a clean setup tomorrow below the 21.48, a narrow range, and then a higher day break with the 21.48 still above. Anyway, it's the most interesting to me, maybe because of the news, and I know this one can move at times. QS is just kind of a little cup and handle for me here. I like it over that horizontal line. SOUN, also interesting over this area, over that horizontal line. EDUC, big breakout today on big volume. ATCH, also a nice breakout. I was watching that in after hours. It gave no setup though. CRNC popped yesterday and stayed today in the upper part of yesterday's range. I think it even broke yesterday's high a little bit, but I like the way it's holding up. SQFT. I wish it had a stronger close, but still you can't ignore the volume, and it broke out above, a couple months worth of trading probably. So we're going to watch for some follow through. There's really no chart set up here other than the uranium stocks are definitely in play. There was good news by the government a couple days ago on that, and I like the way it's holding up. NNE, after this pop, has pulled back for a couple days, a little bit of a bottoming tail. So, you could watch that whole space, OKLO and SMR as well. QBTS, nice breakout today, could follow through. Speaking of which, IONQ, which is kind of the leader of the quantum plays, actually went over 70 in after hours. But IONQ is on fire. It's extended for me, but QBTS is kind of like day one of a breakout. It is worth noting it was up several days before the breakout, so does it need to cool off? Probably. CCCC had the big breakout on, that would have been Friday, and now we got a couple red days on lower volume. Could turn back up tomorrow. ASST, Another red day. This is, I mean, kind of unbelievable. Back here, it hit 1260 right there, right? Has been falling ever since, and it's definitely down near these lows. It's certainly overdue for a bounce. So just know that I don't look at that chart and say, oh, that's pretty, but I also think, hey, this one could give a really nice snapback bounce. Also, a recent IPO, GEMI, red every day so far, from 45.89 down into the low 20s here. I do want to watch that for a bounce too. I will only take ASST or GEMI with a bounce play setup that we teach, right? And then WLDS also was crazy in play back here, and now it's come down a few days on almost no volume. I'm going to treat that as a bounce play as well. That's it for me. I'll see you guys in pre-market, and we'll add a list of gappers to this list. Have a great night.